Hi there, Cancer. How are you guys doing? I really hope that this video finds you well. Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Anisa, from the Inner Stereo. This is going to be your love messages. It's a general reading, so the roles might get reversed, or it may or may not resonate with you. And if this reading resonates with you, there's going to be a link down in the description box below for a personal reading with me, okay? So, Cancer, how are you guys doing? This is going to be a you versus them format. We're going to be looking at your energy, your challenges, past, present, future from both parties, and we're going to clarify them. And I'm also going to be pulling some advice card for you by the end of the session, okay? Right to my love. All in your element here, Cancer. King of Cups as your overall energy. I feel that, you know, I'm a Cancerian. I'm not a Cancerian, but I have like a lot of placement in Cancer. I have Moon in Cancer. I'm a Cancer rising, and I have Jupiter in Cancer. So I'm very Cancerian myself. And what's been interesting with Cancers is that Pluto went retrograde in your Pluto went retrograde in your 7th house. It went back to Capricorn, which is your 7th house, your house of relationship and partnership. And it went direct and finally moved away to Aquarius. And during that time, I believe it was from September to November, there was like a lot of lessons that you guys gained in terms of relationship. Not only did you see things from a different perspective, which then lead to you seeing whoever it is that you're dealing with in another perspective, but I feel that whatever that has been happening to you in your relationship sector brought you back to your element, okay? Because I feel that, you know, I dealt with Cancer before, and you know, as I said, I have like a lot of a Cancerian element within me. Sometimes we get too consumed by emotions, right? But I feel that you, especially this week, you will have the ability to be very mindful when it comes to your emotions. Whatever it is that people are doing to you, it's not going to affect you personally because you're in touch with yourself, okay? Now, what is your overall challenge here, Cancer? You have the 4 of Cups. It seems that not only are you guys going back to your element, but it's also something here has raised your standard in a way that things that used to impress you no longer impresses you. You know what I mean? And it could also be about a certain individual. The things that used to make you feel giddy or makes you feel happy, you get a reassurance from them. It no longer give that same effect. You know what I mean? So we're going to clarify in a moment, yeah? Now, in the past, you have the Queen of Wands and also the King of Swords. From this person's side, they have the Wheel of Fortune, and they also have the Page of Cups. This person is very, very optimistic when it comes to this relationship, you know? This person feel as if like you both were met. It was not coincidence. And they're also believing that, you know, we can make this happen. This Page of Cups in this deck of mine is a card where someone is having a little bit of a maladaptive daydreaming, where they do, yeah, but they were not really in touch with reality though. It's more about them seeing this relationship or them seeing you, not through the lens of reality, but more on what they perceive it to be. You know what I mean? You know, like how when you met someone and then you starting to assume a certain type of character, a certain type of future that you would have with them. And I feel that this was your person's energy. It was not really grounded, I have to say that, but they were being really, really optimistic about this connection. They really believe that, you know, circumstances are going to be aligning itself and they're going to be with you, and being with Cancer is going to be amazing, and yada, yada, yada. However, you have the Queen of Wands and King of Swords. I feel that in the past, you were in an energy where you felt that, you know, rather than me being so focused on another person, or rather than me being so focused on a relationship, let's say for instance, I would rather just focus on me. I feel that you had like a lot of boost of confidence lately, and you were operating more from a lens of, you know, logic. Not like this person, okay? This person is, okay, more like, will this work for me in the long term or not? Will me compromising with this certain individual, will that give me any sort of benefit or not? Let's say, for instance, you're considering reconciliation. You're like, okay, if I were to be reconciling with this person, do I see a future with them or not? Because if I don't see a future with them, then what's the point? Okay. I like your energy because you're starting to think of yourself. You're starting to put yourself first. Okay. Now, in the present moment, and the more that you start to withdraw your energy out from the relationship and you start putting it to you, the more that this person starts to be all about you, you know what I mean? You could be dealing with someone who has a bit of a dismissive, avoidant attachment style, because with them, you need to give them like a lot of space so that they could feel not so overwhelmed and they start to think about the sweet things within the relationship. Now, in the present moment, you have the Eight of Swords and also the Page of Swords. You realize, I like your energy, really. I like your energy because you started to realize things, unhealthy habits that you have, okay, that you feel that you're learning to quit. Let's say, for instance, you have the tendency to be anxious about a certain type of things. You would then trying to assess it from a very logical perspective about like, what can I do so that I stop being anxious about it? What action is it that I used to do that triggers this type of anxiety? And how can I change that? Okay. Let's say, for instance, you have the tendency to be resentful over someone. You will then start to realize, okay, I have this tendency to be resentful over someone because I tend to not speak up. Then you will learn that, okay, so the next time there's this something is bothering me, I'm going to learn to speak up so that I don't have this bottle up resentment. It could also be about like, why am I obsessing over certain things that is not important for me? And you will start finding the triggers, like what makes me like that and how to stop it. So I really like your energy here. Now, when it comes to the other person, they have the Three of Wands and also the Queen of Cups. They're very much in their emotions here. Cancer with you, but there's also them just kind of like not really coming forward, but more like strategizing, I would say. Okay. Now in the future, you have the Ace of Pentacles and also the Ace of Wands. I'm going to clarify what this is. Is this relationship connected to the relationship, or is it about you? But I feel that you'd be inspired to take some sort of actions when it comes to your life. And then there's going to be like a brand new beginning here that is opening up. We're going to clarify in a moment, which is going to be met with some sort of resistance coming from this person. But yeah, let's clarify them. Okay. Now I'm going to clarify the present moment. I'm going to clarify this Three of Wands from their side first. Let's see the Eight of Swords from your side. Yeah, it's this Eight of Swords. Like you would have your triggers, okay? You would have, sometimes you would feel anxious. Sometimes you would feel, you would get triggered. But then there's a realizations about like, what action is it that I'm doing to myself that triggers the type of anxiety and how to stop that. Like you will find what type of self-sabotage I've been doing to myself and how to stop it. There is an ending to it because you feel that, you know what, it's time for me to focus a lot more on my own happiness. So yeah, I like it. It's beautiful. Now, from this person's side, the Three of Wands clarified by the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and also the Wheel of Fortune. They notice the changes in your energy. And I feel that this person is also focusing a lot more on themselves, especially in terms of their routines, their finances, and career. Let's see. Okay, let's clarify the Queen of Cups from their side. Page of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Two of Swords. Yeah, and there's also, like, you've been carrying pain, a lot of pain, okay? You've been carrying a lot of pain, and there's also something about you wanting to unlearn patterns that you have that is a bit of a self-sabotage. Not only that, you're also wanting to heal some sort of three sorts, hurt, pain that you've been carrying all along. And again, as I said, there's something about you wanting to start speaking up for yourself. Like if someone triggers you or someone bothers you, even in the slightest bit, like you will learn how to communicate better about this because you don't want to be carrying it with you all the time. Now, the Queen of Cups clarified by the Page of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and also the Two of Swords. You see, this person is very impulsive, you know? This person has a tendency to be impulsive, but I feel that at this present moment, this person is not really showing that impulsive side of theirs. There's something here that this person is wanting to do to you, but they're taking their time a little bit because, again, they're kind of like just wanting to watch and plan. Okay, let's see the future. Whoops. You both, you know. Okay, so if you're single and ready to mingle, you're going to be meeting somebody who is carrying the same type of wound as you are, okay? And it's going to be a beautiful connection because you will know how to make them, like, you know, like when you carry the same wound, you know how to deal with them better, yeah? Like, let's say, for instance, you have the same fear of abandonment or fear of rejection wounds. Like, you know how to treat the other person because you know what not to do to you and what are the things that is going to make you get triggered with those fears that you have. Or let's say, for instance, you have the similar fear of betrayal, like you know how to handle the other person better. You know how to assure the other person better. So that's if you're single and ready to mingle. However, if you're still like dealing with this person, I feel that things are going to get cleared up here, but it's going to take, again, because this person, again, as I said, this person is very impulsive, has a tendency to be very impulsive and impatient. And you are too, actually, but something changed probably because of the Pluto thing. That makes you wanting to take things a bit slow and wanting to do things the right way this time. And I feel that justice is going to be restored. There is a new standard that you guys are upholding right now. Like I said, if it is not this, it's not what I want. So, but this person is open to it though. Is either your energy or you are going to be communicating to them how things are going to be next. And it's going to be very different than how it was, okay? You have Ace of Pentacles here, so it's a brand new beginning that looks a bit promising than it was before. Okay, so I think there's going to be a conversation here that both of you are going to be having. And this conversation is going to be a pretty long conversation because, again, you are now with your new standards and you're in this mindset of like, I want it to be this way. And you're kind of like quite stubborn about it. Like, I want it to be this way. If it's not this way, then I don't want it. So that conversation is going to be a bit, I'm not going to say it's going to be tricky, but in Indonesia, we call it like alat. It's going to take a while, okay? But it will uncover, and it will open, and it will also be able to make you open about, you know, the things that has been bothering your mind lately and them as well. So it's a good conversation here. And the result of it, it looks very, very promising. There's going to be some shocking talks or shocking sentences that you would probably hear from them, or they will hear from you things that has been quite bottled up for quite a while because you're afraid of judgment, or they're afraid of your judgment. Like if I were to be telling them what has been making me, let's say, anxious, or what has been bothering me, I'm afraid to be judged, or I'm afraid that it will make me lose my face. But I feel that you both are not going to be like that. I feel that there's going to be some vulnerability here in the future that will lead to an understanding and like more like an agreement on how to proceed forward. So now let's pull some advice card for you here, Cancer. Empress, yeah, 5 of Wands, and also the 10 of Pentacles. What is your advice here is that you need to think it in the long term. Okay? Don't fall or don't look for instant gratification. Let's say, for instance, if you miss someone and then them breadcrumbing you, you would, put all of your walls down just like that. Don't go for instant gratification. Know what you want, know what you deserve. The Empress here has a lot to do with self-love. In order for us to be attracting the kind of love that we want, we got to believe that we deserve that. And you got to believe it very, very much. You need to be reflecting. You see the 5 of Wands? The 5 of Wands, this is the after tarot deck, so it's going to be very different than the traditional Rider-Waite tarot. But it's more about, you looking at either the recent conflict or the recent arguments and see, like, what are the lessons that I'm supposed to be taking away from it? And those lessons has a lot to do with you believing that, I am deserving of the kind of love that I believe I deserve. And you also need to understand, Cancer, and this is 100% because Cancers are very moody, right? Like it's very easy to make you feel bad about yourself. It's very easy to do that. So you need to know that you need to be dealing with someone who brings out the best version of yourself in order for you to do good. Don't fall for instant gratification right now, okay? Think of it of the long term. Is this something that I really want to be having in my life 5 years from now and 10 years from now? Does this bring out the best version of myself, or is this bringing out the worst version of myself? Like, think of it from that perspective. You're in really good element here. Keep up with it, okay? So I think that is it from reading for you here, Cancer. I hope that you find tons and tons of clarity that you guys been looking for, and I look forward to see you guys in the next reading. All right, bye-bye, guys. Have a great day. I love you.